Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I think we will try to make this a very, very short ceremony so that we can all move away from the heat. Not as hot as first came here anyway. Trustee, President Ensign, the family of my friend, Robert Pastor, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We are here today to pay honor, very great personal friend mine, and to a great benefactor of this university, which he loved so much. Before I continue, I'd like to say a few things out of my written remarks. During one of his visits, when Bob came here, he turned over to me and said, Atiku, I said, Bob, he said, you see, try and buy every piece of land around this place. Because in the next 50 years, that is going to sustain the university. So he was not only an academician, he was also a businessman and an economist. And I began buying as much land as I could possibly grab my hand on. And I want to say today, there is no individual, there is no institution that owns so much land in Yola or in Adamawa State or even in the Northeast sub-region as AUN. I am eternally grateful to him. It is hard for me to imagine that this university, whose wonderful new library we are here to dedicate today, would even exist had I not met Professor Robert Pastor. Of course, he thought we should perhaps build AUN on the French Riviera, but more of that later. First, let me tell you a little bit about this extraordinary man. He had a distinguished careers in academics and in public service. A professor at the American University in Washington, D.C., an author of 17 books, and nearly countless professional articles. Fulbright scholar, White House aide to U.S. President Carter in his National Security Council, and tireless campaigner for democracy worldwide. It was as Vice President of International Affairs at American University that I met and worked with him in the creation of this university. I had just been, let me say, this is his own words. I had just been appointed Vice President of International Affairs at AU. And President Benjamin Ladner asked me to lead a team to Nigeria to determine the feasibility of establishing such a university. By then, actually the first contact was Lou Goodman, who I first contacted in this exercise. And Lou Goodman had to now make a presentation to Robert Pastor. And he said, when I arrived here, the land was dry, the heat was oppressive, and the poverty was pervasive. It was hard for me to see how a university could grow in this soil. I suggested a different location to Atiku. How about the French Riviera? He laughed and I laughed. Or how about Abuja? I wouldn't take any other place other than Yola. But as you see, he changed his mind. I have a way of making Bob change his mind. I don't know whether even his wife Maggie could do that. It was with his invaluable aid that we mapped out the physical plan for AUN, where once there was nothing but fields and goods. He helped us lead us through the complex business of hiring our first faculty members, our first administrators and staff, and finding our first students. He served on our board of trustees as the buildings around you rose from this dry land. His advice was always thoughtful. His humor was always a balm. His courage kept people going on when obstacles seemed insurmountable. His vision in creating a university which would spearhead the development of democracy in Africa was a guiding light. He was my friend. I miss him. We all miss him, but we shall not forget him. And here, let me come to a story. When the library was about to be completed, I had two suggestions from the university authorities. One, to name this building after my late mother, or to name it after Bob. I decided that it should be Bob. As we enter this library, I hope that all of you today and all the many future generations of AUN students, faculty and staff who will follow after you will recall the spirit of the man for whom it is named. He was a man dedicated to a peaceful, prosperous, educated, and democratic Nigeria, a country he had come to love and a country in whose future he believed, as we all do. We are all here at this university to help achieve such a Nigerian, such an African future. This library will play a crucial role in forging that future. May you use it with gratitude, dedication, and joy. Before I conclude, President Ensign recognized a number of distinguished Nigerians who are here in our midst. Let me continue with that introduction and say that it is also our pleasure to have the Vice Chancellor of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, with us here today. It gives me great pleasure to name this the intellectual heart of the university he helped us all to create, to name this great library in his honor. Thank you very much.